You're listening to the Occupational Philosophers with Simon Banks and John Rice.
Hello and welcome to the Occupational Philosophers, a not-so-serious business podcast which mashes up creativity, curiosity, imagination, play, with a little bit of philosophy thrown in for good measure. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, co-producer in Australia, Simon Banks. Simon, how are you doing?
I'm well, John. And have you heard of an artist called Wassily Kandinsky? And it might be said Vasily. I'm not sure if I've got that right. Do you know this guy?
Could be Vasily. I think I do. I think I might have had a print of his on my wall when I was in my earlier days. Not as a student, because I had other posters on my wall as a student.
Which should be left to that pile as well.
As I got more sophisticated, probably had a Kandinsky somewhere in the hallway. Yeah, slightly dog-eared.
Yeah, and a French movie poster as well, just to look cool and socialist and that type of thing, and creative, a bit arty at uni.
Exactly, yes. So I think I've heard him. He's quite abstract, I think, as I recall, with geometric shapes and lines and lots of colour, yeah.
Now, I've been reading a book, a really nice book, which is called See What You're Missing, 31 Ways Artists Notice the World and How You Can Too. And reading about Mr. Kandinsky, he has a talent where he sees images when listening to music and hears music when looking at images. I'm like, ooh, what's this? Now I've dived into it. Do you know what this is called? You ever heard about it?
I do think synesthesia is my recollection of this. And I do know someone who has this, and they do see colours when they hear sound. So I had heard of it from their perspective.
And it's not just you watch something and you get a sound and vice versa. Like you might smell coffee and that triggers another reaction in one of your senses as well. But I'll give you a little bit more of an official explanation. Synesthesia is a phenomenon where stimulation of one sensory or cognitive pathway leads to involuntary experiences in a second pathway. It's a blending of your senses. So someone might see colors when they hear music or associate specific tastes with certain words. So let's say you're in class at school and the teacher says, stop mucking around. That might make you taste, I don't know, chocolate. True.
Or we're now just about to start our maths lesson, and that makes me taste a sharp lemon or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, obviously, there's some research around this, and it's a very active area of research. But here's some of the theories. There's one called cross-activation theory, which means stimulation of one sensory or cognitive pathway triggers the automatic activation of another pathway in your brain. There's another one called disinhibited feedback theory, which just means there's less inhibitions between different parts of your brain that wouldn't normally talk to each other. They hang out, if that's a better way to say it. And there's also a school of thought that it might just be you're much better at perceiving things and paying attention to the world. So it might be influenced by selective perception and selective attention. So there's a possibility we all could have this, but we don't tap into it.
Ah, that is interesting. So it is all about this interplay of senses, them coming together and sparking off of each other. I like, as it says in that opening thing about sort of you've got different pathways to the brain.
Yeah, and it made me start to think, because we talk around curiosity so often, I always encourage everyone I worked with, open your eyes and see. Then I thought, well, hang on, there's all these different senses, and then there's hypersensitivity, like hands, touch, taste, olfactory, gustatory even, we can taste. And I like what Kandinsky says. I also hear color, just as I see sounds. There is a deep blue sound that's in my ear constantly. So the sound had colors as well.
And presumably there's lots of artists in different fields and disciplines that experience this. Is it something that is particularly seen within creative people, as we might see in the sort of artistic community?
I know a lot of creative people have it, but that just might also be by chance. I haven't done the statistics. There's a band in Australia, a very well-known band called Silverchair, and their singer Daniel Johns has this. Pharrell Williams and Billy Joel also have this, and they both say that it would be almost impossible for them to write music without it.
What does Billy Joel smell when he plays the piano?
That's a good question. I'll take that one on notice. But I'm going to dive into what Pharrell Williams, when he talks about it. And he says, there are 7 basic colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. They all correspond with musical notes. White, believe it or not, which gives you an octave, is the blending of all of the colors. So think of how, I don't know if you can do it, but like his mind, when he's going through octaves, becomes white and blending and different things. And he also then goes on to speak around about chakras, and he feels affinity for color in many mediums. So colors are light in the electromagnetic spectrum. For every color, there is a sound, a vibration, a part of the human body, a number, and a musical note. So think around the senses, how open they are, how open his senses are to the world.
And how does he use it?
Well, I might have to take that one on notice as well, but okay, but I will read out this. He has a unique process to access the music, which is always accompanied by a vision of colors floating by. Now, what I like about this, though, and we talk around this, he says this process is like riding a bike, or a moped, he calls it. You have to pedal first to fire it up. Now, he says, when I get in the shower, because of something called sensory deprivation, when one of your senses is being blocked, it allows your mind to wander and be imaginative. So when I'm in the shower, the water blocks out the sound, so it makes me imagine things. And if you think around that, whenever you speak to people where to get your best ideas from, it is 90% of the time in a place of sensory deprivation. So maybe our increased curiosity and those moments of synesthesia could occur when we're having less stimulation, so we can tune in to what's going on.
Okay, yeah, so almost shutting out one sense might heighten the sensitivity of another, as it were. Yeah.
Well, that's my pop science. Like, if you're a scientist, they'd probably go, "Oh my God, like this." These are my musings now. Now this is where
No, put it out on the internet, it will become fact. It will then be combed up by AI, and then will be regurgitated somewhere down the line. So there you go. You've changed the world with your musings.
Now, being a little bit more curious around this and how we pick up on cues and also things like energy, which we can't see. Have you ever been in a room when you wander in and you can feel the energy, or you can feel the vibe, or
Yes.
something along those lines?
Whenever I walk into a family gathering, it usually gets really tense.
Yeah, I can imagine that. And I always laugh. A good friend of ours, my wife used to work with a very famous florist. We used to work, and it was often joked about him. He could chill a room of 100 people just by wandering in. So it's a hard concept, I think, to explore sometimes because you can't see it. However, you can feel it. So I was thinking, diving into this space around sort of synesthesia, what's going on when you can pick up the vibe or the atmosphere in a room, and you have sensory input. So you get visual, auditory, and olfactory cues. So the smell, what you see, and what you touch in the room and listen to gives you some cues. And emotional processing. So our amygdala and our prefrontal cortex take in information, sensory inputs, social interactions, and context. That's picking up on things, going, "Oh, okay, I see what's happening here," and processing that information. And then also our automatic nervous system will trigger certain responses in us, with like our gut and breath and the way our internal energy might go up. And our insula integrates our bodily sensations with emotional experiences to enhance our awareness of the room's atmosphere. So it seems there is things which help us read the room as well. And then, yeah.
So that might be where we intuit stuff. And we often talk about gut feeling. We get a gut feeling, don't we? Something doesn't feel right, and you feel it there, or something smells off.
Yeah. That's just your fridge. Yeah. It does actually smell off. Yeah.
And as you've been talking about this, Simon, obviously I've been thinking about how much this blending of senses and idea of colour and compared to feeling come together. So we feel blue, we see red, someone's perceived as being green, which means they're new in some regard. And of course, you can taste the rainbow, as they say in the Skittles advert.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that one. We don't allow sugar in our house. We turn that off. But with the gut, and look, there's so many great podcasts on this as well. So there's wonderful. I listen to a lot of them around the scientific explanations around this. But we have our central nervous system in our body. But we also have our enteric nervous system, which is the millions of neurons that regulate digestion and communicate with our central nervous system, which is in our gut. So you often hear people go, oh, your gut's like a brain. But absolutely, it is like a brain. Wrapping this up, there's probably a whole lot more we can tap into rather than just open your eyes and see.
Again, I was thinking about when you're within those team environments that you do kind of encourage people, as you might have said, how does that feel to you? What do you see? Yeah. What do you see could be a challenge here? What do you see as the opportunity? And are we hearing the same thing? And so I think you can sometimes tease that out, the gut instincts, by framing a question that asks people to tap into the brain in the gut, as it were. And it can be really useful, actually, outside of the facts and figures of something. Just asking people how they feel about it can sort of elicit something a bit more deep within them that could be quite useful.
And I think, and I think also just be open. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What patterns are you sensing? Is there more information available that we might be missing?
That, Simon, is a very tasty idea.
Yeah, all right, John. I can smell coffee when you said that as well. Let's wrap it up. It's more of a amusing than anything else, but it just caught my eye as we do. So I thought, why not dive into that a little bit more? And it might be time again to do one of our artist shows. We could have Kandinsky and a couple of other artists walk into a bar and see what can we dive into them. We haven't done one of those, I reckon, for about 30 or 40 episodes. So that might be a nice thing to do as well.
Yes, and it's encouraging me to dip into the philosophers' archives as well. So maybe I'll bring out some more contemporary philosophers, maybe, and have them walk into a bar as well. There we go. We made a commitment publicly.
Okay, and they always work out really well. So, John, we'll wrap it up. If you've enjoyed the show, tell your friends. Do dive into our longer form episodes where we interview some of the most amazing guests from all walks of life who've taken the path less traveled. And as we always say, John,
stay curious, have fun, play more, make stuff, and
when you leave today, go and date life.